This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. So yesterday we learned about request for quotation process. In the request for quotation process, we will create RFQ initially, and then once we created RFQ, then we'll send that RFQ. I mean to say, requesting the quotation from the vendors. We will send that information to the vendors, multiple vendors. Then vendors will give reply. So that replies will update in the system, and we'll compare all the replies whatever we have received from the different vendors, and we'll take the confirmation from one of the vendor so that it will create a purchase order or purchase agreement based on the setups, based on the creation. Now today we'll try to understand about purchase requisition. Purchase requisition. So this purchase requisition is, there are many setups required, mandatory setups. Many mandatory setups are required. If the functionality is very simple, purchase requisition. Here purchase requisition means internal department, any person can raise a request. So RFQ and purchase order process in general, that will be done by purchase department. But this purchase requisition, that means a request, internal request can be raised by any persons. Can be raised by any persons. This is a request, internal request. In general, RFQ, whatever yesterday you have learned, RFQ process and purchase order process will be executed by purchase department. Some set of people will be there. Those people will raise RFQ process, and purchase order process also they will execute. But whereas purchase requisition is in an internal process, I mean to say any project manager or any person can raise a request. Any person can raise a request. So if you want to raise a request, internal request, suppose example like I'm a project manager, I'm not belongs to purchase department, I'm a project manager, or I'm a project lead, or I'm a manager for one project, anything, then I need 4 laptops. This laptops is not for purchasing and selling. This is for my internal purpose. Otherwise, I'm working as an accountant. I'm working as an accountant. I want one printer. Whatever the printer it is available, that printer is damaged, and it is almost more than 5 years of old, 5 years old laptop, printer. It is not working properly. I want to raise a request for printer. So here I'm not department from purchase. I'm not a purchase department guy, but still I'm an accountant. Still I want one printer for my internal utilization. Then I can raise a request. Okay, so in the organization, any person can raise a request. That is purchase requisition. Okay, what are the prerequisites if you want to create a purchase requisition? So then we need to understand so many things, a little bit different modules. Okay, first thing is, if you are joining in a company, then user should be created. I'm sorry. First thing is, once you joined in a company, suppose you are joining in a company like Accenture, TCS, or Wipro, or any company, whenever you are joining, Once you joined, you will get one username password, temporary username and temporary password, and they will ask you to reset your password. This is the first point you will receive from the corresponding company once you joined. So this is in Active Directory. In Active Directory, they will create one user. Then the same user will be added in Microsoft Dynamics AX or F&O. The same user should be added in Dynamics AX so that you can access Dynamics AX or Dynamics F&O. What it means? If you go to System Administrator, System Administration, Security, not here, users, sorry. Users. Okay, user will be added here. So the first one is to log in your system. It is not related to Dynamics AX. To log in into, suppose if you joined in Accenture, then once you joined in a company, you need to log in into that organization. That means the system administrator, administration department, they will create in their Active Directory domain, in their domain. This will be taken care by admin department. Okay, once it is done, then they will, if you are belongs to one project, that project server, in the server they will add your name here. They will add your name here. Suppose here April is one person, Erin is one person, Brad Sutton, Brooke, like this there are so many people. User will be added. Next, and employee or worker should be created. Here worker types is contract and employee. So the employee should be created, not worker. What it means? Human resource module. In this, you will find in workers, you will find employees, contractors, and workers. Employees is payroll will be executing in that company. Contractors means contract employee. So in this, payroll will not be executed for that employee. Workers is equal to employee plus contractors. Altogether, it is workers. So contract employee means you are working in Accenture, but your payroll is not in Accenture. Your payroll is in third-party consultancy, and you can work in Accenture. That is called contract employees. Employees means permanent employees, means salary will be provided by Accenture only. So here workers are two types. One is employee, one is contractor. Now here employee should be created but not contract employee. Understood? Employee should be created, contract employee. It's not like contract employee. Employee should be created. Now here user should be mapped with employee. So earlier user created and employee created. Now user should be mapped with employee. This user should be mapped with employee. It's a person. Julia Vanderpark. User should be mapped with employee. User should be mapped with employee. So April here is not mapped with employee. Okay, it should be mapped. Once it is done, then only if you go to procurement and sourcing module, okay, purchase requisitions, all purchase requisitions. Here new button will be enabled. This new button will be enabled if it is done this one. In purchase requisition, new button will be enabled. Understood? Any doubt here? Of course, it is all are not relevant to you, but if you are doing like a setup for I'm sorry. So if you are going to do setups for a client, then these are the prerequisites. These are the prerequisites for a new button. This button will be enabled. This purchase requisition, this is a purchase requisition. This new button will be enabled if you map these things. Can anyone unmute and whether you are able to hear me properly or not?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, fine. So these are the prerequisites. These are the prerequisites. Fine. Next. So new button is enabled because everything is everything like in Active Directory it was created. That is the reason I'm able to access login, and user is created in the system administrator, and the employee was created and employee was mapped with user. That is the reason I'm able to click on new button. Okay, I'm clicking on new button. So suppose for washing machines or for new laptops. Here, if you want project module, you can select project module. Okay, this is related to project management and accounting module. As of now, not required. But if you want, you can select this one. This is project management and accounting module related purchase requisition. As of now, it is not relevant for you. Okay, I'm not selecting. Click OK. Now, if you click new, add line, Now, if you are going to select any item, it is not showing. Only it is showing C001, C002, C003, C004. Only 4 items it is showing. Why? So for items also there are restrictions. Now we need to understand item related restrictions. Okay, fine. Give me 1 second. So we are going to product information management, released products. So let me increase size a little bit. Okay. So C001, C002, 3, 4 is showing, but remaining items are not showing. So now what is the restrictions? Let us understand one by one. I will create new item C005 and I will show you the mandatory setups required for item to display in purchase requisitions. C0005. Suppose Samsung laptop or LG laptop. Something. So I have created a new item C005. Now if you verify like C005, it will not display. So item C005 is created. If I click validate, everything is fine. All field values are fine. But still, if I go to inside, I'm deleting this one. I'm adding once again. I'm trying to do item number. It is not showing. Okay. The prerequisite for item master or released product. So released product oblique item master should be mapped with category. It should be mapped with procurement category. So the item whatever I have created, this item should be mapped with product categories. So instead of from here, what I will do from the procurement category so that it will be easy for you. You can do from here or you can do from there. Let me show from procurement and sourcing module.
Satya, hi
Yeah.
Satya, this is Ajay. I'm confused. What are you trying to do here?
We are attaching item with product category.
Oh, why we need to do that?
That is the mandatory setups.
No,
If you
why
want,
are you trying to create the requisition for procurement category, or are you trying to do that item?
so we are trying to purchase the item. If you are going to do a, you can purchase through purchase requisition, you can purchase either item or category, but item should be mapped with the category, then only it will show.
I don't think so.
Yeah, so here you are not able to see. This one, if I go here,
That means you might need to release the product to company.
not already released, that item is released already, but
Okay.
items be mapped with the category. This is available in the same setups is available in 2012 also, the same setups.
Okay. So it is showing mandatory procurement category. Okay.
Yes, yes. So otherwise you cannot see here. Otherwise you can create a category directly and you can start using that one instead of item. If I want, you can use procurement category directly. That is also fine. But if you want item, then item should be mapped with the category. Okay. So definitely we'll discuss, Ajay. Give me 5-10 minutes time. Mandatory setups. Let me finish. Okay. Please don't mind. Fine.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Just I'm selecting C001. So in this, I'm adding. So anywhere you can add it. I'm just adding all together in one place. So in computers, I'm adding whatever I have created C005. Okay, you can select to right side. So now it was added. Okay, what I did, I have mapped item master should be mapped with category. That means category should be already created. This is anyhow it is mandatory. And procurement category. That means one category hierarchy should be created. And then procurement category. Because I'm keeping in mind, like if it is a fresh database, a new company, all these things you need to do it. Okay, So release product should be created, and a category hierarchy should be created, and then this category hierarchy should be mapped with procurement process, and then this item should be mapped with procurement category. Okay, what is this means one by one? You know, like release product, it is clear. You know, this one is everyone know like how to create an item master. But what is this procure hierarchy means? The second step in this what is this category hierarchy means? In product information management, I have discussed earlier, but let me recap once again. Setup, categories, category hierarchies. You can create your own category hierarchies, any structure. This we have discussed. You can create n number of category hierarchies. Once it is created, category hierarchies, there are n number of category hierarchies, and you are assigning in this category hierarchy role associations, and you are mapping for procurement category hierarchy this one. This is enum. I told earlier, this is enum. This is enum. Okay, so that procurement category hierarchy is mapped with procurement and office supplies. Then if it is mapped, then you can map in the release product. If you want, you can map in the release product or procurement category hierarchy. In this procurement and sourcing module, procurement categories, we are mapping item with category. Okay, but still if I go back to this one, if I'm deleting this line, now adding a line, still it will not show. It is not showing. C005 is not showing. So one more setup is required. So go to here and catalogs, procurement catalogs. So go to computers. Now this is display no, means it is not published. You need to publish the catalog. So next step is procurement catalogs. Publish the item. For this item, it is display no. If you publish catalog, then it will change to yes. Now if you go here, if you refresh, it will show item. Now you can proceed. Yes, please. Now please discuss now. Any doubts here? If you want to click on new button in the purchase requisition, there are prerequisites. If you want an item to be added in the purchase requisition, then there are prerequisites. So just like in the purchase order or RFQ or sales order, sales quotation, just like by clicking new and proceeding, it is not possible. Purchase requisition can be raised by internal departments. Any department, any person can access this can do it, but there are prerequisites. These are all are prerequisites. Yes, Venkat, Ajay, Kishore. Yes, please. Now, before go ahead, I would like to discuss now. Anyone doubts? So the same setups is available in AX 2012 also. In 2012 also, the same restrictions are permissions required if you want to raise a purchase requisition for an item. These are the prerequisites. Any doubts, please? Because earlier you are asking, I stopped you. Now, yes, please. Fine. If you don't
I'm
know,
good. Yeah.
Sir,
yes, please. Yeah, Paket.
who will create all these setups, like the person who create the purchase requisition, or the person who create the item master product ID?
Because see, you are implementation consultant. Am I right? If you are
Mhm.
implementation consultant, you need to take the permissions from your client and what are the items they are going to raise. So those items you need to do setups. Am I right?
Yes.
So even like item masters or item groups, item model groups, everything you need to collect and you need to map and you need to import, or you need to data migration. Through data migration you need to import or you need to enter manually. Am I right? So in that, this is your task. These all are your task. Of course, new item, every time new item is creating, then in that case you are going to train your company users, business users, so that whenever they have created a new item, they need to do these setups. But this is your responsibility. So in this, I know like you are not a system administrator, but user should be like whenever any employee joined, definitely user will be given to access their environment. Am I right? It will be by default. This is available, and this is one of your task, whether you are going to create users or your another technical person may be created users. Human resource will be done by HR consultant. If HR consultant is not exist in your company, then it is your task, your duty. You need to create employee in the HR module. That is minimum requirement. Whether company is using payroll process or not, leave it. But employee should be created, and this should be mapped with this one. This is your task. I mean to say, it may be you are going to do it, or your some other persons they are going to do it, but you need to make sure like whether they have created or not. Otherwise you cannot proceed. The new button will not be enabled for the corresponding employee. Make sense? So this is, you are making sure like everything is done earlier. Of course, initially in the very first, you may have you are going to provide this permission for few employees, maybe five employees or 10 employees, but you need to provide training on this one to your business people, at least key users like purchase manager, accounts manager. They should know this process. And after that, this one is whenever they are going to use it, if they are this also they need to understood this process. Of course, purchase requisition creation is a simple one, very simple, master, very simple, but these are the prerequisites. Okay, next, suppose if I want to rise for another legal entity, suppose I'm working in Hyderabad company. Okay, I have another company, my sister concern company is in Delhi or Mumbai, another company. If I want to rise for another company also, yes, I can rise. So how it is? Give me 1 second. One more extra setup. Because currently I'm working in USMF. I'm right. So I'm raising request for USMF. But if I want for some other company, yes, I can raise. Suppose here INMF, it is not mapped. INMF, it was not mapped. Now I want to raise a request for INMF company. So then, is it possible? Yes, we can raise. So there is a special permission. Once again, procurement and sourcing module, setup, policies, purchase requisition permissions. So now we are doing for Julia, because my employee's name is Julia van der Berg. Now what I'm doing, I'm adding another legal entity, INMF. Then I can request for INMF also. Let me delete this one, refresh. One second. Give me 1 second. This is extra permission. Not here. It is for requester. So INMF, it was not. I think we need to create a new one. Let me remove. Let me delete and let me recreate a new one. Click here. Now it will be shown. INMF. So how these are available means this employee is added in these legal entities in HR. In HR module, this employee is added to this legal entities. That is fine. Now this employee is not belongs to INMF. In HR module, this employee is not shared resources between employees. Then we can have permission like this. Purchase requisition permissions. Okay. So there are two options. If employee belongs to multiple legal entities, then he or she can raise request for those legal entities. This is by default. So I'm sorry. Here, this Julia Funderburg belongs to GLCO company, DEMF company, USMF company, and USSI and FRRT. These companies, where it is available means it is once again related to HR. Give me 1 second, I will show you. That is related to once again HR related, HR module related. Let me show you. Human resources, workers. Let me filter by Julia. Sorry. This Julia is linked to one minute, because I'm also not expertise in this area. Work position assignments are not this one position. It is employment history, I think. Okay, she belongs to FRRT, USSI, USMF, DEMF, and GLCO. That is the reason these companies will be shown here. GLCO, DEMF, USMF, USSI, FRRT. Apart from these companies, she is not belongs to INMF company, but she want to raise a request for INMF also. Then she can raise from here if she has permission, purchase requisition permission for that legal entity, then she can raise for INMF. Understood? This is extra setup if you want. I need to map site and warehouse. I'm sorry. Purchase requisition was created. Okay, now once purchase requisition is created, so you need to raise, if you want to convert this one from purchase requisition to, okay, let me write down this step also. Purchase requisition permissions. So let me write down this step. Purchase requisition permissions. Okay, extra company if you want. Fine. Now workflow is mandatory. To convert purchase requisition to purchase order. Workflow is mandatory. Workflow is mandatory if you want to convert this one to purchase requisition, purchase order. Okay, one more. It is in the draft mode. Okay, so workflow I'm submitting. As of now, I don't have permission for workflow, unfortunately, but I'm submitting. So it is in the draft mode. It is in the draft mode. I'm submitting workflow. So now in review. So if you want to raise a PR, it should be submitted. It should be approved. Once it is approved, you can raise purchase order. Otherwise, you can raise from here. You can raise RFQ also. Then automatically one RFQ will be created. So from PR to PO, workflow is mandatory. But if you want to rise from PR to RFQ, not mandatory. So RFQ was created. Now if you go to the RFQ process, request for quotation, yesterday what you learned. Then one RFQ is created for laptop. It is for C005. And you can proceed with the multiple vendors. But whereas if you want PR should be converted to PO directly, then workflow is mandatory. Then only we can proceed. It should be submitted. Once it is submitted, it should be approved. Then only we can convert this into purchase order from here. Procurement and sourcing module. Here. Here in this. You can release approved purchase orders, approved purchase requisitions. Once purchase requisition is approved, here it is in review, but your manager should be approved. So I don't have workflow permissions as of now. So from release approved purchase requisitions, from here it will be available. Once it is approved, then you can create a purchase order. Understood? Any doubt here? So from PR, we can raise RFQ. From RFQ, we can create a PO. Yesterday we learned. Or we can rise from PR to PO directly. Then in that case, workflow is mandatory. Workflow should be approved. Understood? Any doubt? So today's topic is not a complex at all, but there is a dependencies a lot. There are many dependencies related to purchase requisition. That's it. Yeah, any doubts, please unmute yourself.
Sir, can we select a category instead of product while creating the purchase requisition?
Sorry, come again. Takir, yeah.
Can we select the category instead of product while creating the PR?
Yes, we can we can do it. It's not an issue. Directly you can create a category and you can proceed. If you want item, then those are the minimum setups. If it is suppose something, yes, you can create category. Yes, you can. No need to wait for item. You can select any category. Simple. Okay. I need to map site and warehouse. Fine. I think site and warehouse is mandatory. Need to map. Fine. You can proceed without item. If it is item required, then we need to do all the setups. Yeah. Anything else? Anyone, please? Of course, as I told you, it is not a complex to understand, but there are so many restrictions or conditions, prerequisites to raise a purchase requisition. The reason behind, if there is no restrictions, anyone normal person who joined yesterday, suppose he may raise laptops, right? Suppose I joined as a junior engineer yesterday, like I'm a fresher, 2 years of experience. I joined in a company. Now I can raise a request. So if I have restrictions, I cannot. Okay. So senior persons only, usually senior persons only will raise request, internal request. This is purchase requisition is internal request. So you are raising request to your purchase department. Suppose take the example notepads. So one person will maintain notepads. So if it is notepads are completed, closed, then they need to raise internal request to purchase department. So in accounts department, he is working. He wants a A4 stationery. Then he can raise request. He wants pens, pencils, erasers. Internally, there will be so many expense items we need to purchase to accommodate my employees. Then few persons will be there. Those persons will be maintained all these things. So for them, they need to raise a internal request, that is purchase requisition. Okay. I'm stopping here for today. We'll connect once again tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. IST. And one more thing, I'm planning to combine both finance